Well, my score for season one of The Boys, I could be convinced. So my score out of 10 for The Boys season 2 is very simple. I've seen The Boys season 4. I'm going to give it a... The other main thing is I have watched the entirety of season 1 of The Boys. And so as I did for Stranger Things, I watched the 4 seasons leading up, the 4 weeks before season 5 of Stranger Things. I'm doing the same thing before season 5 of The Boys dropping April 8th. So,
You want to talk about that now?
yeah, we can bang that out. Absolutely. So you've seen all of The Boys and all of Gen V?
I have seen season 1 of Gen V and a few episodes of season 2.
Okay. But you've definitely seen season 1 of The Boys.
I've seen all of The Boys, but
It's been a while.
It's been years. I can't remember anything that happens in season 1. So you will give me a recap.
Yeah, of course.
Great.
Well, my score for season 1 of The Boys, I could be convinced 10 out of 10. Certainly over 9 out of 10.
It's great.
I felt very similarly to The Boys season 1 as I did watching Stranger Things season 1 for the first time, where it was like, oh, of course this is this cultural phenomenon. Of course this is one of the biggest shows of my lifetime. Like, it is... That first season of Stranger Things, much like I was feeling this entire first season of The Boys, is so clean. Everything comes together. All of the plot points. Like, now this one, I think season 1 of The Boys was written more so for a season 2 than Stranger Things
Of course,
was.
yeah.
But even then, I was like, oh, this is a complete season of television where all these characters play such a specific role in the story. It's important, and you kind of lose.
Generally, what happens?
Well, there's a guy named Huey, and he loses his girlfriend very tragically to an accident involving a superhero, and him along with Billy Butcher and a couple of a ragtag group of boys and Kimiko.
Mother's Milk and
Frenchie. Yeah, they
oh, that's the translucent stuff.
yes. They try and they end up uncovering this whole conspiracy about superheroes. It's very much like Invincible, which we're talking about, and also both happen to be produced by Amazon Prime Video, is it's like a realistic take on superheroes to the max. Like, it doesn't get much more realistic than this. Much like how our celebrities have flaws, whether they have drug abuse problems or they're egomaniacs or this or that. The Boys is very much like, yeah, if there were superheroes and they were real, they would be fucking up all the time and people would die because of it.
Huey was a big fan of superheroes at the start, right?
I think that is a wonderful twist because that's not established for 2 or 3 episodes. And I think it was so wonderful when he goes back to his house and you see a little A-Train Funko Pop and you see the posters all over the wall because that wasn't explained to us. Now, we saw that he knew a little bit about superheroes. We saw him watching Translucent on Jimmy Fallon. We saw him watch Homelander on TV Save the Kids, which is the opening scene. But that's just, I assume, the news. When it went back and, oh, he was a fan, I thought that was wonderful. That was a really nice touch.
Who's your favorite character so far?
It's a great question. And I'm just going to answer... I like Starlight the most as a human. I think that she's the best human being.
What about that first episode with the Deep? And Starlight.
It's so good. It like
well, it's gross.
No, it's disgusting and horrible.
Yeah.
But this is something I want to highlight before we really start getting into specific characters. The Boys, no matter how terrible the human being that I'm watching is, they do a really good job at making you care and feeling bad for every single one of these characters. I absolutely felt bad for the Deep by the end of season 1.
There are a lot of Deep fans. I still can't get over the first episode.
No, he is awful.
But there are so many people that call him the Peak.
Which
is hilarious.
That is hilarious. He's awful. Like, I'm not saying he's not an awful human being.
No, yeah.
But like, there's a scene with a lobster in season 1, and I was like, this is awful. That's so sad.
Is the dolphin in season 1?
The dolphin that he tries to save from SeaWorld? Yeah. Yes. There's a lot of... So I watched episode 1 of The Boys years ago. Not when it came out, but like probably more than 4 years ago, certainly before I moved here. And the violence, it did turn me off a bit. That scene with Robin and Huey is awful. When he is holding her hands, spoiler warning for season 1 of The Boys. It came out in like 2016. I don't feel bad. But when he's holding her hands, that really turned me off. And I'm not saying that's like a negative of the show, because the show does a really good job of that. But the plane scene with Queen Maeve and Homelander, where the mom and the child are like, please take my daughter. And then you see the wreckage of the plane and you see her doll just washed up. That's really brutal. The scene that ends up being fake, where Billy's wife is having the kid and the kid is breaking out of her stomach and she's bleeding everywhere. Like, there's so many scenes where I'm like, it is a bit much for me. And it's certainly easier for me to swallow with Invincible because it's a poorly animated cartoon. When it was as realistic and as good as the CGI is, it was a lot. But so that scene, the dolphin scene's horrible. It's hilarious, but it's also funny. Like, ugh. Anyway, so all that to say, my favorite character, the best character in the show so far, and I can't imagine how much better it's going to be because I've seen it's Homelander. He only gets better or worse. I know because I've seen clips and I know the speech from the Metro Boomin song by heart and this and that. So I know we're going to take it farther, but he is acting circles around everybody already. Like, I have never questioned you or questioned anybody that we've ever had on the podcast being like, you have to put Anthony Starr Homelander in the conversation with Heath Ledger's Joker. I've never complained about anybody saying that because I haven't watched the show, but I have seen enough where I'm like, yeah, I could see this being no. Season 1, I imagine, is the most tame, and he's unfucking believable.
Do you understand now what I said, that like everyone's complaining that The Boys has gone on too long and that we still haven't killed Homelander? It's a little repetitive, but I'm just like, that's fine with me because that means we get more Homelander, and I love it.
I totally understand that because he's unbelievable. He's unbelievable to watch. And I mean, obviously, what a horrible person. And
but you haven't even gotten much of his backstory.
No, I know. I imagine it gets way worse. I imagine he's a significantly worse human going forward, but like, Anthony Starr's ability, and I don't know if I've seen enough people highlight this. I understand that over the next couple seasons, I'm going to watch him slowly descend into madness that he cannot
keep the facade
up. But his acting when the facade is up is incredible. It's unfucking believable. When he's throughout the season, slowly you see him being like, you guys are the real heroes, and his eyes being more and more lifeless as he says, it's already one of the best performances I've seen in my life, and I know it's going to get better. That's the thing I'm most excited for going forward. Great twist at the end. Becca's still alive. Homelander, that's Homelander's kid. I really like the twist that Homelander didn't rape her. I really like that. When we're watching on camera and yeah, she volunteered to go in there. I think that's great. And that, Billy's a fucking psychopath. He's as bad as some of the Supes. He's a terrible person already.
He is very wishy-washy. Sometimes he's my favorite. Sometimes he's my least favorite.
I understand.
I love Frenchie and Kimiko.
What a great relationship. And Mother's Milk, I really resonate with him. He's one of my favorites as well. I mean, I've liked every character. A-Train's storyline was the only storyline that didn't I never felt bad for him, even though I felt bad for Homelander multiple times.
Interesting.
But I thought that the roids thing was interesting because obviously it comes into play at the end because he's about to kill Starlight, he's about to kill Huey, and then he fucking has a heart attack. I think that was great. I'm interested to see how we get away with that. Like, is A-Train not going to snitch on Starlight and Huey? Is she going to remain part of the Seven? Is she going to defect this early? I imagine she defects eventually, but I've definitely seen more shots of her in the suit that haven't happened yet. Erin Moriarty is also very hot. I mean, very hot people throughout this. Sad they killed Stillwell. She is the blonde who is essentially Homelander's mother and sex partner in the first season.
Yeah.
He lasers her eyes.
And the house at the end.
In the house at the end. Uh-huh. It just happened like less than an hour ago for me. I'm sad. I thought that she was such a wonderful presence. Giancarlo Esposito's
I was
her
about
boss.
I was about to say,
So excited for him.
But then you get that,
Yep.
and that's awesome.
Yep, excited for him. Yeah, really excited for him. That was great. Ashley is the
Yes.
marketing girl. Mm-hmm. They fired her, but I know she comes back because I've seen her in other stuff.
She's in like all the seasons.
So excited to see her again. She is awesome. When she's constantly like, I did not know that The Boys was so. This is the last thing I'll say because we got to move on. I did not know how big of a part of The Boys, and maybe it's just the first season, that like the politics of it all is. You're up this many points. This is a demographic you need to hit. I loved that because I imagine that that's what the real world is like with like celebrities, like
And politicians.
and of course politicians, but fuck politicians. Like Timothée Chalamet, he's going through a bit of a controversy now. So we're going to see him at a fucking opera this week. We're going to see him at a ballet next week because he needs to get his polling numbers up before Dune comes out. Like that aspect of it all, how big of a part of The Boys that was, I thought was just fascinating. And yeah, I loved that.
There's always bits and pieces of that. It becomes even more and more straight political.
Oh, okay.
Later, which is
Sure.
interesting, especially season 4. But yeah, I'll be interested to see. I assume season 1 will be your favorite.
I've heard great things about 3.
3.
Yeah.
3. That's Soldier Boy.
Yeah.
A lot of people, that he makes that season very entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
But there's good stuff in each season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited. I'm very excited for the rest of it. So look forward to more reviews of The Boys. But, shout out season 1. It's a great season of television. And if you haven't watched it yet, I definitely recommend at the very least season 1.
Yeah, if you can handle it.
It is a lot.
It's a lot.
And it's going to get worse, right?
It doesn't get better.
Yeah.
The start of season 3 is nuts. The opening scene's nuts.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of penis.
I don't mind the penis.
Well, a lot of penis and violence.
I'm so uncomfortable when that girl was fingering the deep skills.
Yeah, right? Isn't
that...
that...
I don't even have gills. I don't know what that would possibly feel
but you
like.
still feel it.
Ah!
Ugh.
So it's like, I don't know how much more of that.
Wasn't she talking to him too? Like, you little freak?
Yes. And I know there's going to be more sex.
The whole time I was, all kinds.
I know about Herogasm.
Herogasm's
but
great.
I don't know what happens in here. I just know that they all fuck. But, like, I don't know what that looks like. I haven't seen it.
Superheroes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you feel bad for him in that scene. But also you're like, well, you kind of did that to Starlight.
No,
you know what I mean?
He's a terrible person. I'm not, but, like, I'm still like...
No, but you feel it. You're like... Ew.
Homelander is the worst person in this show so far. And I know it's only going to get worse.
Yeah.
But when some characters, like the doctor character, who's responsible, the head scientist for Vought, is like, you should have been raised by people that loved you. I'm so sorry. And he's like, do you want forgiveness? I'm not forgiving you. And it's like, oh, in that scene, and then you get the flashback to him in the with the blankie with people looking at him through a little hole like he's in a goddamn submarine. I felt terrible for him. And I was like, no wonder this kid is so fucked up. Of course, he's so fucked up and he's completely irredeemable, and I'm not saying he's a hero or anything.
The backstory is very interesting.
But I'm like, oh, how sad.
It's very fun.
Oh, The Boys.
Yeah, we're here for The Boys Season 2 review.
The boys are back.
This is going to be out on Patreon for the regular Monday, so if you're a Patreon member,
You got it a week early.
You're watching this a week before everybody else, and then if not, no stress. Here it is, just a little bit later than I think some people would have liked. There was just some confusion about Monday's episode.
We got schedules and a bunch of different people coming, and we're about to be out of town. And so we moved some stuff around. But
yes,
The Boys Season 2, you have watched it?
I have.
I have watched a recap.
Oh, good. Oh, so you know what you're talking about.
Hopefully.
Okay,
I mean,
good.
I watched it. When did Season 2 come out? 2017 or something?
Years ago, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah.
So,
I'll try my best.
no problem. But so my score out of 10 for The Boys Season 2 is very simple. It's an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
I do think it's worse than Season 1.
Yes.
Season 1, I think, start to finish is just incredible.
Tighter.
Here's my thing. The Boys season 2 is very Daredevil season 3. I think it starts really slow. I think the first 2 or 3 episodes of The Boys season 2, I was like, oh, I kind of hate this. I'm watching it and I was really perturbed with some of the character decisions that I'll get into in a minute. But once The Boys season 2 gets going, I think it surpasses the highs of season 1. It's just really inconsistent. But some of the stuff that they do in season 2 with Stormfront is such a welcome addition as an antagonist. She is awful.
Season 1 didn't have Nazis.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
So I really, and I gotta tell you, oh my gosh, is Giancarlo Esposito as Stan Edgar.
Good. He's so good.
And I really thought I would miss Stillwell.
Yeah.
But I don't, because Giancarlo Esposito is just so excellent.
No, yeah, he's really good.
And there's some things that I want to touch upon Stormfront, because I don't want to talk about her too much. Some of the stuff they do with her, I knew she was a Nazi because people were like, oh, Homelander's got a girlfriend and she's a Nazi. I didn't quite understand what that meant. I didn't realize that she was literally a Hail Hitler Nazi.
Like in pictures with Hitler, yeah.
Yeah,
doesn't age.
I thought people were like, oh, she's a Nazi. Like, she's just going to be a racist, homophobic bigot or whatever the fuck. I didn't get the seriousness of this.
Yeah.
But what I didn't pick up on as the season went on, but then I clocked as the season went on, I found so interesting is how they hint at her prejudices. There's a moment where she's talking about Stan Edgar. And she's like, he is so smart, even for one of them. And I thought in the moment, I was like, oh, because he's not a soup. But no, it's because he's black.
Yeah.
Like, so interesting how they do that. I think that there was really good writing throughout. So there were some really high highs. The lows of season 2 are awful. The first couple episodes when Butcher isn't a part of it, the first episode, bad. He needs to show up immediately. And then when Huey and Butcher are just constantly going at it throughout this season, it's so annoying. It's got a Matt Murdock, Foggy Nelson. Foggy, just shut the fuck up. He's Daredevil. Get over yourself. It's got one of those qualities where it's like, these guys are fighting for no reason. Like, it's so dumb.
There's a lot of that. Just like in Daredevil, where it's just like, some of the stuff, it's a good show, but some of the stuff is a little repetitive.
Yeah.
I think that kind of continues. But it's also because Butcher, continues to grow as a character. I'll say that.
So. All right. Well, that brings us to one of my biggest highlights of the season is I liked Butcher significantly more in season 2 than I did in season 1.
Okay.
I think all of the stuff with Becca, I think is extremely, extremely compelling. And that brings us to Becca. She was raped. My bad last week.
I was so confused because I couldn't remember, but I was like, I thought.
My bad. That was on me.
Yes.
But that's why it's so great. I haven't started season 3. That's why it's so important that we do these reviews this way. Because
they can tell you when you're being a freaking moron.
That was something I missed in the same way there was Stranger Things, where I predicted that Robin and Steve would get together, not knowing that she's a lesbian.
And everyone was like, ooh.
We had your friend off screen, and as soon as I said that, she was like, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, is Robin underage? Like, I never thought she was gay.
Yeah.
So about that, like, sorry to everybody about that. I did misinterpret that scene. I will say, I would have preferred it if she wasn't raped.
I think everyone would prefer that. I think most people are against that.
That's a really good point. I'm just going to go one step further. I think...
Interesting thing to double down on.
Making Butcher a worse person and making Homelander, because Homelander's already the worst character in the series, other than Stormfront at this point. He's already a fucking awful, awful person. So I don't think we need him to rape her to make him worse. I think if we make Butcher a worse person, knowing that she wasn't raped by him, I think it's fascinating.
Okay, I see what you're saying, but
yeah.
I don't need that.
That's fair. That's fair.
Butcher's been through enough. Yes. You don't need to make his wife cheat on him, with Homelander. Like, you don't need to do that.
Yeah. It's terrible, though. And all the stuff with the kid is awful.
Yeah, what do you think about the kid?
Well, the kid killing her is terrible. That is...
In Butcher's... So Butcher, that's what I'm saying. Butcher goes from thinking she's dead then realizing that she got raped by Homelander and she's actually alive, and there's a son who is now a Soup who he hates, and then the wife that he thought was dead is now actually dying in his arms. Nuts.
Thanks to the kid.
Thanks to the kid, who she said raise him. So now it's on him to raise a Soup son. Complicated. Complicated.
But she was dead anyway. Like, Stormfront was gonna kill her.
Yeah, I mean the kid did his best,
Yeah.
but it's still sad.
Yeah.
What do you think about the girl power scene in season 2? I love it.
I love it.
When Maeve showed up and just punched her in the face, I was
Yep.
like, yes.
Loved it.
She just had to like fly away.
Yeah.
That was
That was
good.
great.
Yeah.
So another major positive, Starlight is excellent in this season.
Mm-hmm.
All the stuff with Starlight is so good about them trying to expose Vought and all that stuff. Starlight continues to be one of my favorite characters. Maeve is really interesting, a really interesting character at this point. When Homelander exposes her for being gay, what an awful person. We'll get to Homelander in a minute. But like, what an awful, awful human being. But then it's so interesting how the company, again, this was one of my favorite things in season 1, and it
How they
continues
pivot.
to be my favorite thing in season 2. It's so interesting how you treat this behind the scenes
Yeah.
of this is how real companies work with real celebrities, whether it's political or actors or musicians or whatever. This is how these companies work. And it was so interesting where it's like, they've got the gay burger now, and they've got the gay this, and they that, and she's like, you're the second most liked lesbian couple in America behind Ellen and Portia. That hasn't aged very well.
No.
But like, that was so interesting. I loved all of that. And then obviously her, Elena, like wanting out of it because she can't do, she doesn't want to be famous. Like, all that is excellent.
Yeah.
All that was great.
I think season 2 really doubles down on a few things, and some of it's the best stuff in The Boys, which is all the like blackmail, like he's the most powerful person in the world, but we have this on you, and A-Train's doing it to Starlight, and Starlight's doing it to him because he killed his girlfriend.
Yep.
Whatever.
Yep.
And you know the
Popclaw.
airplane, and then Popclaw, and Maeve is doing it to Homelander with the video of him not saving the plane.
Yep.
And all of that also kind of goes to they have to keep up their image.
Yep.
Which is what you're talking about with how they pivot when Maeve is outed.
Yep.
And, you know, the boys were fugitives at the beginning of the season, and then they're not.
Yep.
And then the whole thing with Compound V
Yep.
being a secret, and
Yep.
then giving it to a terrorist, and then
Yep.
then they, you know, Giancarlo Esposito's character being great with that, about
Yep.
how he just pivots and tries to take the public's view onto, oh, now there's this terrorist, so you don't need to think about this, and then now it's actually a good thing. Very interesting. Just a lot of it this season, and it's one of my favorite things about The Boys.
It's probably my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Like you said, the blackmailing is fascinating. How about A-Train? Giving them all the info that he's the one that is the catalyst for the leaking that Stormfront's a Nazi.
Yeah, that's another one.
But he doesn't do it because he fucks with Starlight or he fucks with Huey or any of that. He's like, fuck that racist bitch.
Yeah, because he wants in the 7.
That's brilliant. That's awesome.
What'd you think about the Deep joining Scientology?
Yeah, I want to get to that in like 2 seconds.
Okay.
2 seconds. But like, so all that, and that's why I say that the highs of season 2 are higher than the highs of season 1. But it's just the lows are really low. There's some, I did not care for Kimiko's brother.
Really?
Any of that stuff, didn't care for it at all. Frenchie and Kimiko, I really loved in season 1, was constantly on them in season 2.
I can't remember why. I remember always liking them.
Maybe, and Frenchie, the Frenchie backstory we get in season 2, where the reason that the boss Mallory, her kids get burned alive by Lamplighter, who burns himself alive in this season, that was really interesting. And I like the actor for Lamplighter. But all that was really interesting. The backstory that we get why Frenchie left his post was because his dear friend was ODing. That was really interesting and really sad. Like, there was some solo Frenchie stuff that I really liked, and then there was some solo Kimiko stuff that I really liked, with her language and how once her family died, she never spoke again. All that stuff was really interesting. But like, when her brother dies and then she like freezes up every time she sees Stormfront, didn't care for it. And it just didn't do anything for me. But I was surprised at how strong they've made Kimiko. Because I don't think she was as powerful as she is in season 2 as she was in season 1.
She's
like,
very
she
helpful.
fully gets her neck broken. And I know she dies in season 1 and comes back to life. But that, like, so what? She's immortal? She can't die?
No, she's just got really good strength and regeneration.
Yeah. Crazy. So that was interesting. But yeah, so that was probably of the boys, because Mother's Milk is always doing it for me. He's so great all the time. I just love him so much. And obviously, Huey's probably my favorite character.
Huey's great.
Other than who we'll get to in a minute. Like, Huey's so great and so likable, and I root for him so hard. Scientology. We got to talk about Scientology. Loved the wrinkle that added in the Fresca stuff.
Yeah.
So interesting, so bizarre. Now, I want to say, I don't care for the Deep at all. I know that people call him the Peak. I know that he's got his fan base. He doesn't do anything for me. I don't care for him very much. When I felt bad for him a little bit in season 1. I didn't feel bad for him not once in season 2. And when A-Train gets back into the 7 over the Deep, and the Deep is like, I married this bitch that gives shitty blowjobs and this and that. I was like, I don't care about your plight. Like, you're such a prick. And I like A-Train at this point. I'm enjoying him. So
Yeah.
I was like, good for A-Train, you know? So I didn't really care. I much more cared about the Scientology and the politics of Scientology. When Stan Edgar goes to the Scientology headquarters and is negotiating with him and all that, I was like, that's wonderful. What an interesting wrinkle. And then I have to talk about one of my favorite scenes in The Boys so far, which is Jack Quaid's real-life girlfriend. Don't know her name. Don't know her character's name. Don't know the actress's name. But the politician that is so anti-superheroes the entire season on the phone with Scientology, and then we learn she's the one that's blowing people's heads up.
Crazy.
So it's PETA. You know PETA, the like animal activism group?
Yeah.
You know the theory that they are made by people to make animal activist groups look bad. Like, that's the theory. Because PETA's full of fucking idiots.
Yeah.
The shit that they post sometimes is ridiculous. That's what she is. She's a soup for Vought because she killed the FBI agent at the start. She killed all those people at the courthouse, including expendable Vought agents like the guy that was going to take over for A-Train, Thundershock or whatever his name is. And then now she kills the Scientology guy after the Scientology guy was like, I'm going to release all this dirt I've got on soups. So that's what she is. That's wonderful. And now Huey is working for her. All of that is excellent.
Yeah, that's right at the end of the season, right?
That is the last scene that I remember. Maybe not the last scene in the episode, but that's the last thing I remember. I was like, this is wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. In the same way that I was so excited to see the aftermath of Becca's Alive.
Yeah.
In season 1, I'm so excited for that. And that is the main reason why I think I'm going to adore season 3. So many people have come to me, except for one person recently told me that they don't like season 3, but so many people have come to me saying that season 3 is the best season. Can't wait for that.
All right, The Boys season 3.
That's correct.
Is your first time watching it?
Yes, it is.
I watched a little review before we started filming.
A little recap.
We got Soldier Boy, got a lot of stuff going on. The Deep, Starlight. What'd you think?
Giving it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
It is not my favorite season.
You like season 1 better?
I like season 1 better.
Fair.
When I talk about it in my season 2 review, because I had seen episode 1 or something. I don't know, but we filmed something.
I think it might have been on the Patreon.
Oh, on the Patreon. But we filmed something where I got to talk about episode 1 of season 3, and I was like, this is gonna be my favorite, whatever. There are a couple side plots. Spoilers for The Boys season 3, by the way.
Sure,
We're just gonna hop right into it. There are a couple side plots that kind of lost me. The Nina and Frenchie stuff, which is the Russian blonde.
Yeah.
All that stuff with Frenchie didn't really interest me.
Interesting. Okay.
So there's some subplot stuff that bogs the season down a little bit more than I would have liked. But the highs are really, really high. I want to go into positives immediately. I think season 3 of The Boys is easily the funniest season. Yes, we could talk about how funny Soldier Boy is. He's hilarious.
Soldier Boy's hilarious.
But holy shit. The one-liners, the lines. I don't know if it was a different writer or something. They brought in a comedian or something with the writing. Every episode had a line or two that, like, I laughed audibly out loud. Like, I was on a plane bothering people around me because I was laughing out loud. There's a line in one of the early episodes where they're talking about Starlight's ex-boyfriend who is like a teen heartthrob in like a boy band or whatever. And First of all, he's got a song called License to Drive, which, first of all, it's a banger. Like, melodically, it's a really fun melody and everything like that. It's total, like, boy band trash. But the song is disgusting. It's like you've got your license to drive, so now I can fuck you. So she's 16.
Yeah.
It's a disgusting song. And they make light of it. But there's a line where they're talking about, oh, well, we like this hero on this show because of this reason. We like this hero. And they're talking about him, and they go, he's a real panty dropper with ages 13 to 16.
Oh my gosh.
And Starlight just goes, what the fuck? It's so funny. There's another one they introduced. So Ashley's CEO in this season, which you know I love because I love her. I just think she adds so much this season. Unfortunately, she is one of my bigger problems with the season, which I'll get to in my negatives, but towards the end. But early season Ashley is still very much Ashley, and Ashley gets an assistant who's also named Ashley, and I do think it's implied that her name isn't Ashley, but she just has called her Ashley, which is hilarious. But there's a line where Ashley number 2 suggests something that kind of the room thinks is stupid, and so Ashley number 1 goes, shut the fuck up, Ashley, and then Ashley number 2 goes, sorry, Ashley. That's hilarious. There's so many, like, not just with Soldier Boy, who's obviously hilarious himself. Jensen Ackles gives a great performance. He's got a line about Bill Cosby, where he's like, that motherfucker, I loved him. Made very strong drinks, though. Like, that's hilarious.
That's really funny.
Like, there's stuff like that that was funny. The guy from Stranger Things, that's the awesome doctor from Stranger Things, he's in The Boys Season 3 as, like, the head movie producer for Vought early on. He's got a couple of great lines where he's like, Nancy Haddock. And Huey's like, and he's like, Google her, you dumb fuck. Like, that is all hilarious. But he's got a line where he's like, Stan Edgar, that piece of shit traitor, and Stillwell, I don't care that she's dead. Fuck that bitch. That, I was laughing out loud about that. So many lines. Every episode had like 2 or 3 lines where I was like, that's the funniest shit this show has ever done. So I wanted to say that's my biggest highlight is how funny consistently season 3 is. Herogasm. The guy answering the door with the big penis. Hilarious. Just
Huge penis.
huge penis. Mm-hmm. And then it's all charred at the end.
Because it blows up.
Yeah.
What about the mother's milk getting doused in the semen?
Yeah. Pretty funny.
That was a lot.
Pretty funny.
The way A-Train kills that guy that episode, just by running and dragging him.
Awesome.
Awesome. Deserved it.
Such a piece of shit, Blue Hawk. One of the worst people in this show ever.
Which is saying
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but so it's great. I said this a little bit in the Patreon, but I'll reiterate it here. The budget way up in season 3. They clearly got way more funding. It was clearly one of Amazon's most popular shows by this point. So like we saw the transition from season 2 to 3 for Stranger Things, it's the same thing. Huge budget increase from season 2 to 3 for The Boys, and you really feel it, you really see it. The superhero fights that we get with Homelander and Butcher, who's powered up, and Soldier Boy and Huey, who's powered up. That fight scene is like a movie superhero fight scene. It's well choreographed. The action is good. The effects are good. It looks great.
Yeah, we haven't. I remember watching season 3 and being like, oh, we haven't really gotten a full fight like this with like multiple soups for this long until season 3. And we got multiple. We got the one at Herogasm, and then we got the one at the finale, obviously.
Absolutely, with Maeve. Maeve and Homelander, which was great. Yeah, so I want to talk about another major positive, which is Mother's Milk gets a shit ton to do in season 3, and his subplot, I think, really gets to shine. I think the idea that the stepfather of his daughter, Todd, is this Homelander fanatic, I think is really strong.
Socked him in the driveway.
Love that scene, by the way. And the idea that he's been trying to hide this life from his daughter, and then Frenchie is the one that's like, you're the greatest man I've ever met, and you are hiding it from your daughter because you don't want her to see very real parts of the world that she's going to experience anyway. And then him at the end showing her the scrapbook and being like, this is your grandfather, this is your father. this is your grandfather, this is your great grandfather. Your grandfather was the real hero. Oh, phenomenal. Phenomenal. Easily the best emotional beat for me in the entire show. Mother's Milk and his daughter Janine. Phenomenal. I'm really interested to see how that plays out in season 4 with Todd, because clearly he's becoming even more of a Homelander fanatic, because he's actually the person that leads the charge that leads to the all right moment when he kills that guy
in the crowd.
and it's Janine's stepfather, Todd, that's going, yeah, that's crazy. So I'm so excited to see how that plays out. I feel like we're jumping the shark a little bit, but obviously we got to talk about Homelander, more unhinged than ever. He's really going psycho this season. I'm fucking loving it. Anthony Starr continues to be one of the best actors in any superhero project ever.
Yeah, the scene where, because up until this point we've been able to keep Homelander in check with the blackmailing.
Yes.
And then after his apology tour.
Yes.
And just being so over it, I think the scene that really made me be like, oh, no, is when he has that conversation with Starlight. And he's like, release it.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
I could take out the whole Air Force.
Yep.
Like, he's like, where's the power grids for, like, the East Coast? Like, I could probably knock those out in a couple minutes.
Yep.
Like, I was like, oh, like, yeah, he doesn't care anymore. And then you get even more scared of him. Because up until this point, I don't know if they've really talked about this. They trained him to want people's, like, attention. Like, that was their only way of keeping him in check, is like,
He has to be loved.
he needs people's admiration, and that's why we've been able to keep him in check with the blackmailing, and why Stan Edgar wasn't really scared of him, and all that. But now that that's gone, it's tough.
The scene where Ashley runs into his room and he's butt-ass naked, and she's like, "You're up," after his birthday speech, the "I'm done" speech, that I know by heart. And she runs in there and she's like, "You're up," and he gets really hard, and she's like, and he goes, "Tell me the fucking numbers," and then he comes. Very funny. That's very funny.
What about freaking? Well, this is the suicide scene is in this one where he jump. So evil, nuts.
Really good. Show a little conviction. That's so good. That's one of those scenes that I've described. I think I described it in season 2, where it's those scenes where it's like, we just want Anthony Starr to show how much better of an actor he is than everybody else. Like, that scene doesn't really need to be in the show, technically. Yeah, you needed her to suicide, and yeah, you needed to show that Homelander's upset about it, but you could have done that in a million different ways. But you wanted to give Anthony Starr, like, a really impressive act off. And so season 3, they go full tilt with that. And it's scenes where he's acting opposite himself. He's just having these schizophrenic episodes where he's talking to himself in a mirror, and you get two aspects of Homelander converging. That's great. It's super good. Speaking of people talking to themselves,
Black Noir.
What'd
you think about his little animation scenes?
But it was great.
I
thought it was a really great way to tell that backstory, and give context to all the things that we needed to know.
They could have done it in such a less interesting way, but it was so unique to kind of have his brain messed up in a way where, like, he's kind of talking to himself, but with these animated characters, and they're used to kind of explain his backstory and his character. I thought it was really cool.
I love it. Yeah. I loved it, and it gave me a lot of... I really liked Black Noir in this entire season.
Yeah.
I think that everything with him, I thought was really strong. Really strong, to be honest. When that scene where he's like, Soldier Boy's back, Black Noir, I can always count on you, and then immediately he goes into the fucking elevator and cuts out his tracker. Incredible. That was excellent. And such good acting with somebody that we cannot see their face, just body language. The guy that plays Black Noir gives a wonderful performance. So, just, I mean, when he's dying, after Homelander rips out his guts, and the cartoons come in, and they're like, "We are so proud of you," I almost got emotional. I was like, wow, that's really good.
Interesting, yeah. What do you think about the Deep and A-Train this season? He's having sex with the octopus already?
It's so funny. Dog, when he's having sex with his wife, and he's like, "You're going to jack me off with all your arms, aren't you?" Because he's talking to the octopus. That made me laugh. That was one of those lines
He's so
where
weird, man.
I laughed so hard.
He's so weird, man.
I imagine... I'm like, my whole time that I was watching those scenes where he tries to do the threesome with his wife and all this stuff, I'm watching these scenes and I'm like, yeah, I think it would be awesome to fuck an octopus.
Well, here's the thing. Do you think if you could talk to animals,
I'd fuck him.
like bestiality is weird. We've talked about it on the podcast. We've had whole conversations about it. But I feel like if humans could communicate with animals, there would be a lot more of it. Obviously.
100%.
Right? Because if you're just walking around, you got an octopus in a cage over there. The octopus is like, "You all want that dick."
Let me suck your dick.
You'd
right
be like,
now.
I mean,
It's going to be the best head of your life.
if a freaky octopus is living in your room and you can talk to it,
I'm fucking it.
he might be a little persuasive.
I'm fucking it for sure.
I'm just trying to gain a little bit more understanding for the deep because, obviously easy to judge. You're putting your penis in an octopus, but we've never had the experience of talking to an octopus. So you don't know.
Speaking of octopi in this season, the scene where Homelander makes him eat Timothy, really strong.
Yeah, a lot of people think that's like, of all the weird, like, uncomfortable scenes, like, that's the worst one.
I didn't feel that way.
It's bad. I don't think it's the worst one, but like it is surprisingly uncomfortable the way that Homelander
Of course,
handled
he's
it.
like, he's begging for his life. He has a family. That is, you know what's the best part of it? Because the way that the scene is going, that is everything okay?
Yeah, we're fine.
You know that Homelander's going to pull something out that's fishy, and he's going to make Deep do something with it. We knew that. But when it's the main course that he brings out, and when the thing is lifted up, Deep goes, "Oh, it's Timothy," like it's an old friend. That was really strong. I thought that was really strong. But everybody's here for me to talk about The Boys. I've seen The Boys season 4. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10, but that's maybe me being generous because I like the character so much. Season 4 is by far the worst. I might even lean towards closer to a 6. If I was really mean, maybe I'd feel like giving it a 5. There are some lows in season 4 of The Boys. The way I describe it is I like every single one of these characters and like Huey and Starlight and even Butcher, who we'll get to in a minute.
Yeah.
And Mother's Milk and this and that. But like every storyline with every single one of these characters that I care about in season 4, it gets a visceral reaction out of me where I'm like, oh, that's happening now. But then I'm like, all right, that's happening now. Like, I don't care. So Frenchie is bisexual in season 4.
Yeah.
He's got a boyfriend that he's fucking. And it's like, yeah, Frenchie's gay now. I don't care. Whatever. And,
Sure.
And it could have been an interesting storyline because, spoiler warning for season 4, Frenchie has killed this guy's entire family.
Oh, yeah. I thought that was kind of interesting.
But I don't care. Like,
But the reason I didn't care for it is because I was like, I want you to be with Kimiko. Like,
Sure. And I've never been the huge, this needs to happen, Kimiko and Frenchie. I've never been that.
they were just kind of cute in season 3, I remember.
For sure. I like their little musical number in season 3,
Yeah.
but it's like, I was just like, all right. And every time we cut back to Frenchie being sad about killing this guy's family, I was like, oh, I don't care about this at all. And I feel that way about every single subplot in season 4 that isn't the main, we've got to kill Newman and we've got to kill Homelander. Like every single one, there's something that the Deep is going through, don't care. I said to you, I think I feel a little bit bad for the Deep in season 1, and then I think he's funny in the other seasons. I think the Deep sucks in season 4. Every time it's something with the Deep, whether he's fucking Sister Sable or he's killing the octopus or something with Ashley where he's like, I'm a better human, I'm a better above being than you. I don't care about any of this shit. If you would have cut the Deep from season 4 of The Boys, I think it would have been a better season. He is so annoying in season 4. But everything with Homelander is phenomenal as always.
The backstory.
The backstory episode, I agree with you where the acting is top notch there, but that's another example where it's like, I don't need this. I don't care for this.
I disagree hard on that one.
Like, he's a bad person. He's had bad experiences. I don't need to watch him burn this guy alive or burn this guy's dick off or this or that. I get it. And it's incredible watching his acting because he does a really cool thing where he burns the guy's dick off. And Anthony Starr is like forcing a laugh as Homelander. And so it feels like a fake laugh coming from Homelander, but that's really good acting. You know what I'm saying? So there are moments like that where I'm like, that's amazing. And then obviously when he's going up and he's got all the blood on him and he left the woman in the bad room with all of her bloody coworkers, it's phenomenal. It's really cool stuff. But like, I was much more interested in like Sister Sable pulling all the strings to fucking make him president, essentially, which is what happens at the end of the show. Awesome twist. Awesome that.
Or they just start killing everybody at Vought in the building.
Yep.
And Deep is like cool with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
All that's great.
You know who wasn't cool with that? A-Train. You like the A-Train stuff though, right?
Yeah.
A-Train stuff was good.
A-Train stuff is good, but again, it's like he's such a bad person. Like,
yeah,
he's such a bad guy, but he's not as bad of a guy as Deep, so it's fine. But you're gonna give him redemption. I'm expecting. I can't imagine this is the last time we see of him. Last thing we see of A-Train.
Yeah.
So I think he'll come back and help the team, but I would still want him in jail. Like, I don't think he's a good guy.
No, of course not. He's murdered a lot of people.
But it is a lot of the A-Train stuff with him in season 4 is good, and then. Like I said, the Sister Sable stuff is some of my favorite stuff in the season.
I like her. What about you didn't like Firecracker at all?
She's really annoying. But good. Like, that's how she's written. She's just an awful, awful human being. And she's an idiot. My favorite stuff with Firecracker is when she's coughing and Homelander's like, and then he's like, sit far away from me. And she moves far away and he goes, further. And she's like so sad about it. I was like, yeah, fuck you, bitch. Because I hate her. Even though it's Anthony Starr being just even more of a terrible, terrible person. I hate her. Didn't really care for her plot. Sister Sable, though, it was cool because you establish her as the smartest person in the world. And you make her the smartest person in the world. We don't see that often in superhero media. We are told how smart people are, and maybe we're shown it with like their inventions or something like
Science,
that.
yeah.
But like a lot of people,
she's politically manipulative and stuff. Yeah,
a lot of people like point out John Krasinski and Mom, where he's the smartest person in the universe, and then he gives up the one thing or whatever with his mouth or whatever. What mouth? He blows it all up, being a fucking idiot. Like, we are told she's the smartest person in the world, and we see it. Like, her plot and how it all works together, brilliant. Which I thought that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun.
She had to be lobotomized so she could stop thinking to have sex and stuff.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
Butcher kind of sucks. Yeah. He always has, like, a side to him that's, like, kind of annoying, and I think that's, like, almost all he was this season, especially at the end. And... Butcher's always been one of my favorite characters, but then that kind of changed after season 4, I think.
Sure.
Yeah.
His subplot, and I wanted to get to him when we talked about his subplot with Jeffrey Dean Morgan, where it's a Fight Club situation and he's not there and he's just talking to nobody. That was one of those side plots where it's like, that's a twist just to be a twist. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I didn't care for that at all. Like, that was one of those where I'm like, I don't care. And I don't care about his tentacle superpower. Like, he did it. He killed Newman right in front of her daughter, by the way, which we didn't really get proper closure of. We just see her going to Red River, which terrible. So sad. But I would have loved to seen the aftermath of the daughter's reaction to that. But, like, I don't care for this tentacle monster. It can kill superheroes, so... I'm sure it's going to be a Deus Ex Machina before he dies in season 5. But my biggest criticism, I told you the side plots is my second biggest criticism with season 4. The last thing I want to say about it is the show is starting to lose me on how everybody continues to survive. Everybody other than Kimiko and Starlight in The Boys are not super abled. And they always survive these crazy, ridiculous, wacky situations they get put in, like the farm of super abled animals.
Oh, yeah.
They show up with like 3 extra people. And so I was like, the 3 extra people are going to be the people that die. And the 3 extra people are the people that die. Like, I'm tired of showing up in a scenario where like every single reason they all should die, and none of them die because you brought 5 extra people and those people die, is starting to get on my nerves. The creator of the show, Eric Kripke, recently in an interview said that season 5 would be a major bloodbath. I'm sure was a major dig at Stranger Things. But he said the word bloodbath as a dig at Stranger Things. I need it to be. I need you to kill multiple of these characters. I don't think I want you to kill Mother's Milk because I want him to have a happy ending. But, like, honestly, kill Huey at this point. Like, and you got to kill Frenchie. Like, you've got to, and obviously they will kill Butcher. I can't imagine they go back on
Butcher
that.
needs to die. Butcher needs to die. A-Train needs to die. I'd be fine with Frenchie dying.
Obviously Homelander, but like
Homelander's gonna die.
But like it's oh my god, like this entire season, they're in these scenarios where they're getting shot at by these militants that because Kimiko has her subplot where she wants to free the children or whatever. That I didn't care for, and it's like Frenchie should be dead. Huey gets his leg broken, and so he's like waddling away from gunfire. The people shooting at them are stormtroopers. Like, it'd be different if Stranger Things, it didn't really bother me that much. They didn't kill anybody. Because Stranger Things, they only kill the new characters. They've never killed any of the season 1 characters. You know what I'm saying? Unless 11 kind of. The Boys, they kill characters in The Boys. They kill characters a lot in The Boys. So it doesn't make sense that none of these guys are dead yet.
Yeah.
I like kept thinking that. I was like, how have none of them died?
Okay.
So I do need to kill
So what's your ranking so far? 1, 3, 2, 4?
Yeah. But it's like a one-handedly 3, not really a gap between 2 and 3 because 3 has high, is like good all the way through. 2 for me has the highest highs of any of the seasons, but the first couple episodes just suck. And then a huge gap, Gen V, and then a gap, and then The Boys.
4.
Yeah. Season 4.
Yeah, I think that's my same ranking. I don't think there's as much of a gap between them, but I'd probably do 1, 3, 2, 4.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the last one.
Yeah, me too. I'm
really
just
excited.
interested to see how they wrap everything up and if there's any more twists after the show. I will say, they're coming out with a show called Vought Rising, which is the next spin-off after Gen V and after The Boys is over, which is a prequel. I'm loving that. That sounds awesome because it is. It's all the Vought stuff is the most interesting stuff. Season 4 way less funny than season 3. I was hoping that at least with all these subplots that it would maintain the comedy from season 3. I don't think they did at all. I think that Soldier Boy in season 5 should really help with that because that's the ending of season 4. But I don't know, man. There were a couple jokes that made me belly laugh, but not really. They did another Ashley joke, and it's actually funnier than the last one, which is...
Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, which is Ashley... Little Ashley fucks up. Big Ashley tells her to shut the fuck up, and then Little Ashley apologizes again, and the back and forth of, shut the fuck up, Ashley. Sorry, Ash. It gets me every time. That's funny. What were you going to say?
Doesn't she...
She defects, right? So she betrays them,
but
by giving.
Aren't they? Doesn't stuff start dripping on her head and she's like getting powers or something?
I don't know about dripping on the head, but she took V at the end. That's the last scene we see.
I don't know what I was thinking of. Maybe I'm thinking of
maybe
Samuel Stearns.
Gen V season 2 or something.
No, but she started getting powers. Ashley did.
I haven't seen her powers at all.
But that was like at the end of the season.
I watched her shoot up with V because she knew that they were going to kill her because they were like, Ashley, give us a list of anybody that has dirt on us. And so she did, and they killed them all. And then Deep, fucking idiot, just goes, well, if of all these people, if Ashley gave us this list of all these people, then Ashley should die too. And Homelander goes, good call, Deep. Though she immediately books it to Homelanders and shoots herself up with V. Yeah. So they can't kill her.
I thought you would find that interesting given that you like her so much.
I do, but I think that makes her character so much less interesting if she becomes a player going forward, if that makes sense.
I just think it's an interesting wrinkle because we've gotten her for 4 seasons where she's just been terrified and trying to like work with these people for 4 seasons, and then when they threaten her, now she's involved somehow. I don't think it'll. I'm interested to see what they do with it. I like that. Yeah.
Heads are rolling though in season 4. They kill a lot of motherfuckers in season 4, but none of the boys. They killed Mallory.
Yeah, they did.
Ryan killed Mallory. which is sad.
Yeah, that was.
Ryan doing it is sad. Like, the Ryan whole subplot, don't really care for it, man. Like, it was just every subplot other than Sister Sable manipulating everything. I was just kind of like,
Okay.
I don't need this. What'd you think of the clone, the shapeshifter that fucks Huey and proposes to him?
Oh yeah, a lot of people were like talking about that online when it first happened.
I was mad at Starlight for getting so mad at him. He was raped.
Yeah,
I literally...
there were people arguing about that.
Maybe I'm a piece of shit. Some people in the comments will tell me maybe you'll have to cut this. But when Starlight was yelling at Huey, I was like, you of all people should know how he's feeling right now. He was raped.
Yeah.
Like, there's no... But that scene, she's like really angry. That's just like her rage that she experienced when she first got told. Because she forgives him like a scene later. She's like, you're getting tested for every bit of soup syphilis you could have possibly gotten. And then he's like, there you fucking go, Huey. Best scene in the whole show, by the way. Or best scene in that season where you just see Huey get into fist bump to himself.
I remember being like, if she has an emotional response, I get it.
Yeah.
But
then she forgives him.
Yeah, I think she could have done a little bit better of a job, I think. Because it was more like, I'm still mad at you, but we'll be fine.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like, I'm recognizing that you were manipulated and forced to have sex with someone that you didn't want.
Sure.
It was more of like, I'm doing you a favor by like re-accepting you.
Sure.
As opposed to like recognizing what the frick he went through.
Sure. His scene with her where he's like, I knew it wasn't her because of this thing that I love about you, this thing that I love about you, and this thing that I love about you. Thought that was great. And so this is another thing people might be mad at me about. I did not care for the subplot with his mom and dad. Oh my gosh.
Oh, his dad having
His dad is dying. His dad has
teleporting.
the stroke, and then they pump him with V. So then he comes back to life, and he's fine, and then he's not fine, and he kills a bunch of people.
I mean, I don't think any of these like subplots are as interesting as like the Sister Sable stuff that you're saying. Like, obviously, that I think is the most interesting in the Homelander backstory stuff, and then A-Train. Those are like probably my top three.
Yeah.
But I don't think any of these are necessarily like awful.
Yeah, see, all of them are like bad to awful for me personally.
Interesting.
It was just like every time we cut to it, I was like, oh.
Only things that were bad, like I remember really being frustrated with Butcher.
I understand that, but I like that because we're like supposed to be frustrated with Butcher. Like,
I know, but there's a limit to how frustrated I want to be with Butcher. I'm fine with being a certain amount of frustrated, but he's still like, I feel like he's doing the right thing. But then when he's just, I feel like he just.
When he kills Newman.
Yeah, when he just did not give an F about trying to work with anybody or trying to help us at all anymore. And it's like.
You don't have any sympathy towards the whole plot of this season is kill Newman, and he has the opportunity to kill Newman, and then they're going to make a deal with her?
But they explain why. And it was like kind of important if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
All right. Season 5. I'm excited.
Yeah, a week.
Mm-hmm.